Hey guys, it's Jake here with eTrailer. Today we've got a 2024 Ford F-350 and we're going to be taking a look at, and I'm going to show you some of the cool features on the B&W Companion 5th-Wheel hitch for your OEM puck system. When it comes to fifth wheels, the B&W Companion is something we always have recommended in the past for the B&W Goosenecks that have the Turnoverball in there. We always recommend that because then you can also have a gooseneck and a fifth wheel adapter that you can put in here, take it in and out. You don't have to worry about putting those above bed rails that a lot of people don't like using anymore because they're in the way. When they introduced these puck systems several years back, B&W came out with this companion that drops right down into the puck system so that whenever you're not using it, you can lift the fifth wheel with these convenient handles on the side and take it out of your truck and set it aside so you don't have anything left in your bed. I do recommend, this thing is pretty hefty if you leave the top of it on. The head itself, you can lift it by these handles, pull these pins, lift it by the handles, and the head will come off, and that about cuts the weight in half. So you can lift it up, one person lift this out, and then you typically will want to get another person to help you lift the base out just because it's so wide and awkward. When it comes to choosing a fifth wheel for your F-350, it can kind of be a daunting task, and honestly, there's lots of options out there, lots of great options. I just prefer the B&W Companion series because of the way it's built. Is very, very strong. There is two different weight options for this hitch, a 20,000 pound, which we have here, and a 25,000 pound. Now the heads are interchangeable. They are both rated for that 25,000 pound capacity. It's just the base that's going to be different for that weighted capacity. There's really no big difference between the two, not a huge visible difference that you can see. But you want to get the one that's closest to the GVWR while still being a little bit over the GVWR of your camper. And when we're doing test fits of hitches like this on trucks, we like to tell you how it's going to interact with the truck. And obviously this is going to fit in most of your Ford factory puck systems, but specifically in the bed of this truck, it's going to fit in the exact same footprint as your puck system, so it's not sticking out any further. And I mention that because there's a lot of fifth wheels that take up a lot more space. They still drop into the puck system, but they have a base, say, that's 3 feet long. Like the Companion has the Companion slider has a very large base and takes up a lot of space. This particular one, if you just imagine a rectangle around your 4 pucks, that's all the space that it's going to take up. So you have all of this space for storage, all this space for storage. A big question we get a lot of times is, will this fifth wheel work with a toolbox and maybe an auxiliary fuel tank up here? And the answer is yes, so long as it doesn't go past your puck system. The bed bolts here that are right in front of the puck system, on these beds there's 8 of them. The second set, if anything is in front of those, you're totally in the clear. You will just want to be sure that everything that's in the bed of your truck is below the level of the top rails here so that you don't make contact with that stuff with the nose of your camper. Now you'll notice here, this particular hitch is a stationary hitch. This is a great pairing with the 8-foot bed that we have here. If you have a 6-foot bed, in order to use this or to properly utilize it, you will want to have a rotating pin box on your fifth wheel so that you can get the correct turning radius. What it'll have is that your locking pin box will have a wedge that'll lock it into this head. The camper will no longer turn on top of this fifth wheel, but it will turn on the rotating head. Now, if you have a regular bed, a 6.5-foot bed, and you don't want to swap out the kingpin on your fifth wheel because it's a very difficult task, if you have that rotating pin box, by all means, I'd say get this one all day long. But if you don't already have that, I would not go through that process because you're going to have to get a fifth wheel and a pin box in. I would go with the B&W Companion slider, which is essentially this exact same thing. It just has a sliding feature to rotate to slide backwards to give you more cab clearance when making those tighter turns. The way that this is going to lock down into your puck system is you'll use these handles here. Now out of the box, you may have to make some adjustments to these, the nuts that are holding the tension on these. You make some adjustments. You do want them to be a tight fit. You don't want them to just loosely open and close. So you want it to be a little bit of tension so that the fifth wheel head or the fifth wheel itself doesn't shake inside of your puck system because it is steel on steel. So just make some minor adjustments. We typically have to do it when we pull them out of the box. I had to do it for this particular one to show you guys this in the bed of this truck. So just make some minor adjustments and get that set right. But otherwise, when you go to remove your fifth wheel, you simply pull a pin on each side, swing these out. We've got them pretty tight so it doesn't move at all. And usually once you loosen one up, the other one is a lot looser. Tighten those back up. That way we don't have any shake in the hitch itself. Then we can throw our pin back in. This hitch does have 3 different height adjustments on it, so you can really dial it into your 5th wheel so that you're towing nice and level down the road. You will want about 6 inches between the top of your bed rails and the bottom of the nose of your camper. So adjust this, adjust the kingpin on your trailer if you have to. But this is going to have a height adjustment from 16 3/4 to 17 3/4 to 18 3/4. It's all in 1 inch increments, and it all happens with the risers here on either side. In order to hook up your trailer, all you have to do is reach over the side of your truck, flip this pin. Most people will not even leave this pin in, they'll just leave it hang just like that. But you'll open it up, leave it just like this, back up to your trailer. Once your trailer kingpin hits that inside of those jaws, that is a 360-degree connection point in there. This will slam closed, and then you take that same pin and put it right back in this hole. And when you are uncoupling, there are certain scenarios where this handle will not just automatically come open and it might keep wanting to close on you. For example, if you're trying to uncouple on slightly unlevel ground and the camper is putting weight against the front of this head, they do include another hole there to keep the handle open so that you can uncouple. Typically, with my experience, the second you pull this handle, it's going to essentially spit out the kingpin and you can pull the truck forward. Now, the last thing I like to point out, which in my eyes is one of the biggest features that I like about B&W stuff, and this is all of their stuff, is going to be the construction itself. It's a very, very thick, sturdy steel construction. Everything they make is very, very high quality. The paint job is an incredible paint job. I've seen very little rust form on any of B&W stuff over the years of just working here and seeing the older 5th wheels come in. So the paint job's going to hold up for a very long time. Well guys, hopefully this video helped you decide whether or not the B&W Companion 5th wheel is right for you in your 2024 Ford F-350.